Today we're going to show you how to set up the Lunar Solo by 6 Moon Designs. But before we do, my name is Jason. This is Huck Outdoors. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe and hang around a while. Let's get on how to set up the Lunar Solo. So the Lunar Solo is the flagship tent from 6 Moon Designs. This model was given to me through the Ambassador Program in 2021. So thank you 6 Moon Designs for sending this out to me. If you've never set up a non-freestanding tent like the Lunar Solo, fear not. Today I'm going to show you a very easy method to set it up. So what you need to set up the Lunar Solo, first off you need your Lunar Solo. Then you're going to need some stakes and then your trekking pole. Let's get to setting this up. First thing you're going to do here is take your tent out of the bag and unravel it. Find a nice flat spot that you'll be camping at for the night. We're going to choose this spot right here. First you're going to unravel it here. As I'm doing this, I'm looking for where the wind is coming from. It feels like the wind's coming this way. So I'm going to set the back of the tent for where the wind's coming to. Next off, I take the stakes. I just like to put a few at each corner. I've got a big one here that I use for the front. For all the other spots, I'm just going to throw the stakes out just so I have them ready to go. Just throw them in the general area. What you're going to have here is a total of 6 stakes. And where I'm going to start is actually on the back 2 stakes. So what you're going to do here, you're going to take your stakes and you're going to stake out the back 2. You're going to take the guy out that you have here and follow the seam lines on each side. So I've got one in there. I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. Find that seam. I'm going to loosen up the guy out some so I have a room to play with later. And I'm going to find the seam, see the seam, and hammer that one in. Both sides are in on the back. What I'm going to do next is take the front and stake that out. Now before we stake out the front here, I'm going to take my trekking pole and I prefer to set it up at 125. 6 Moon Designs says 124. I prefer 125, just gets a little bit higher roof and a little bit more ventilation. And say you're at a spot where you need to drop it down some, maybe there's a lot of wind, you can drop it down to 123, 122, and it's gonna drop it down and help with the wind. So what I'm going to do here is come in right over here. I'm gonna find the little pocket here that the trekking pole goes into, or your carbon fiber pole, and set up. That is at 125 right now. And then I've got this string right here, the guy out for the front. Let's loosen that up a little. You're gonna want to bring that out as far as you can. You want to get some good tension on it here. Let's see here. That's looking good. Let's put that in about right there. And what you're going to do with all this, I gotta find out where there's not a rock too. I've got quite a few rocks in this location. So I've got one set up here. I'm gonna come through, just adjust that a little bit. As you're setting it up, you notice I've got this going out now. On the back, I've got a nice triangle going. And now I get to do the front 2 stakes. So let me get to those. So over here in the front, let's loosen that up some so I get that coming out all the way. Find a good spot here, follow those seams. And hammer those stakes in. Like I said, you can come back and readjust as necessary. I already noticed I'm going to have to readjust the back one here. So let's see here. As set up at 125, you'll notice the front already has that nice bathtub floor. Let's come over here. We'll hammer this one in and try to get it. Yep. As you can see, I already told you this one was coming out, so I'm going to come back over here, set this up in a better location, and hammer it down all the way because it wasn't hammered in. Just that. Now I can come back over here. I've got the front 2 out. I'm going to come back over here, just readjust this one a little bit. Just that. As I'm looking at it, I can find some spots that might need a little bit of adjusting. Let's see here, the front one here. I can probably just adjust this way, which I just did. So now I have one spot left to set up, and that is the back. As you can see, the Lunar Solo is starting to take shape. So I got one last stake to do here, and that is the back stake. Let me get that here. And then we will readjust the tent as necessary. So that right there is just the first few major points of the tent. Next thing I have to do here is adjust this door just to make sure the two doors are actually set up correctly and don't have any sag to them. So let me redo the doors quick. I'm gonna come in here and close the zipper. As I'm looking at it here, I got a little too tight. So what I'm gonna do is loosen it up just a tad. We're gonna have to adjust this actually quite a bit. So I can come in here, I only like to connect one of the two sides of the doors. So what I prefer to do is this side here, the left side. This side I keep a little bit looser. So let's zip this up and see how it looks. It's probably a little too tight right there. So what I'm going to do is come in here, find a different spot for the stake, hammer that in. So now you're saying, oh, it's a little loose. You can see a little bit of sag on the two doors. I'm gonna come in here, just get this, adjust this guy out, just right in here. We'll bring that in, okay? As I'm bringing that in, it's bringing the top of the tent over this way. Let's see, let's tighten that up a little bit more. It's looking good. Let's zipper it up. Yep. As I come down here, that's actually a pretty nice setup here. No sagging at all. Just remember, as you're going through on the tent, after you set it up, you're going to want to readjust it as necessary. I would typically wait about 30 to 45 minutes just so the tent can rest, and then you can come through and adjust all these little tensioners. And these tension straps are easy to do. If you want to roll up the doors, all you got to do is come in here. You're going to take this door on the right side, for example, and start right here at the bottom. And you're just going to come in here real tight. I love to have the doors open on this tent, especially at night. You get some good ventilation that way. But as I'm coming through, you can see it's a nice tight wrap all the way through. And as I come through, you've got these elastic straps here, which I can just connect right there. And the door's now open. The same goes for this side. The Lunar Solo takes 6 tent stakes to set up. I usually bring 2 more just in case, and that's for the sides, because you can bring out each side for a little bit more added headroom or foot room. And what you're gonna do, I've got here, just you can use any type of material you want. I believe this is some Lawson's glow wire, and you're gonna bring this out like at a 90-degree angle from the tent, so it's 90 degrees. Then you would take either another trekking pole if you have it, or if you find like a little stick in the wilderness here, you're gonna wrap it around a couple times and then stake it down. So come out like that, you get a little bit more added headroom. At the same time, if it's a real windy night, it just helps with maybe the tent not flapping around as much. As you can see, I'm pulling it out, it's not flapping around as much as if it's just down below. It's gonna flap around a little bit. So I like to do this, especially just on wherever my head will be. It's just pulling it out some and just giving me a little bit added headroom. As I stated earlier, it's got the nice 6-inch bathtub floor, and because of the design here, the bathtub floor is going to float back and forth. And what I can do, if it's maybe a little bit stormy out or something like that, I can adjust the height of this trekking pole here up or down, actually more down now, and it's gonna bring the tent down a little bit more. I will tighten everything up a little bit more, and it just helps with maybe the rain or a little bit of wind coming through. One more tip for you here, and that is to clean the inside of the tent. Easiest way is just to turn it inside out and shake it. It's gonna get rid of all the dirt or dust that's in there, along with some pine needles and maybe whatever else you had the night before, like a cough drop wrapper or something in there. Just don't forget to pick up your trash after. Well, I hope this helps you set up your Lunar Solo or any other similar trekking pole tent that just has a single trekking pole. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, like I said earlier, subscribe. Stay around a while. Till the next one, thanks for having me.